Welcome, everybody. I am Lucian Greaves, Overlord of the Satanic Temple. I can't tell you how gratifying it is to have you all here today. 10, 20 years ago, it would have been unthinkable that a congregation of Satanists would be gathered publicly upon these Capitol steps. Public sensibilities would not have allowed for it, for the Satan of public perception is one that does not exist. The Satanists of suspicious witch-hunting mythology are nothing more than a paranoid conspiracy theory. We now have the opportunity to open new minds to our teachings and to dispel divisive myths. For that, we honor Governor Rick Scott for Senate Bill 98, which allows for student-led prayer in school, offering the hope that our satanic children may bring Lucifer's teachings to new minions. As spokesperson for the Satanic Temple, I've heard it argued that we have interpreted the letter of the law, SB 98, at the expense of its intended spirit. Surely, I've been told, Governor Rick Scott, an avowed Christian, could not have intended such a bill to benefit Satanists or non-Christian religionists. These reservations, we feel, are nothing less than a grave insult to a great man. Legislation such as SB 98 cannot help but lead to an increase in religious diversity, as more students of various faiths are given opportunity to express their convictions in the classroom. As Satanists, we recognize the true Lucifer, and we know that he has the wisdom and compassion of an angel. He was the most beautiful of all seraphim. He shines with intelligence and compassion. His heart is big with all the virtues born of pride: frankness, courage, constancy in trial, indomitable hope. We strive to echo his sublime qualities. Lucifer, as arbiter of justice and giver of wisdom, disdains the autocratic and oppressive. But to those who are possessed of daring spirit, a restless soul, to those fired with a wild love of liberty, he offers his friendship, which we return with adoration. With compassion, Satan accepts all who are just and compassionate. We of the Satanic Temple will share his wisdom with all who receive it. Today we are deeply honored to have with us Cassandra Wagner, a Floridian high school student who will tell us what it's like growing up as a Satanist today. And then for our keynote speech, we will be addressed by our high priest. Please join me now in a brief prayer. Sanguis, vivimus, corpus, edimus, tolle corpus, satani. Hail Satan. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Let me now introduce you to Cassandra. I thank you very sincerely for being here today.
As a student, issues of religion are hard to approach. On the topic of religion, those of us who hold to minority faiths are thought to be protected by the First Amendment, which assumes a strict separation of church and state that absolutely bars any mention of religion from any student or faculty on school grounds. While the intention of this type of censorship may be to prevent a majority religious point of view from overtaking the school and turning it into a church, the truth is that it also prevents students of alternate religious views from clearing up misconceptions or raising the consciousness of those around them regarding their beliefs and practices. If this is a difficult situation for Mormons, Sikhs, and Buddhists, it's an impossible one for Satanists. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of prejudice against Satanists. People hear the word Satan and they immediately assume the worst. They don't know that I'm an aspiring preschool teacher, a Disney movie lover, and an organizer of an Oprah book club at my school. They don't know that I have a kitten named Lucifer that I take care of every day on my own, or that I play volleyball and soccer for my school, or that I even have a variety of friends, some of them Satanists, some of them not, with whom I can find my hopes, dreams, and fears. My friends who love easily overcome the outdated boundaries that religious differences might put between us. Despite anything else I might do, some people will think that, as a Satanist, I sleep in a coffin or I drink human blood, and that the rest of my life is nothing more than a cover-up for my deranged nocturnal passions. They think that because of my religion, I am unable to be a loving girlfriend, an honor roll student, choir member, and community volunteer. However, the truth is that my religion provides the foundation for me to have these great experiences in my life. Satanists believe that Lucifer is the god of the material world. Lucifer abandoned an eternity in heaven so that he might guide and oversee his children here on earth. Lucifer had forsaken the supernatural world for the material world, and by knowing this material world, we may better understand our Lord in hell. Satanists are scientists and academics working to understand Satan through the understanding of our physical universe. Satanists are excellent students and good citizens. Though Satanism is often associated with blind hedonism, Satanic children are among some of the best behaved students I've ever known. While other children are often entirely shielded from ideas and elements in the world that are thought to corrupt them, Satan urges us to know the world around us in its entirety, to be fully informed and act responsibly. Satanists tend to have realistic attitudes towards sex and drugs because they realistically consider these issues without being constrained by puritanical rules that would have had us not consider them at all. Too often, it is the student who is brought up in the corrosive black and white world of goodness against sin who cannot distinguish the presumed sin of responsibly acting on one's passions from committing criminal acts. When all desire is dismissed as sin, children may enter adolescence without the tools to understand the difference between their naturally budding sexualities and impulses that may cause harm to other people, such as stealing from their peers. It is well known that there is nobody more promiscuous than the Catholic schoolgirl, and trust me, I know, I go to school with lots of them. And there is little doubt that it is because of their lack of a realistic, satanic consideration of moral issues. As a satanic child, I am well informed, and because of this, I am well equipped to deal responsibly with life's problems and the natural problems that go along with being a teenager in school. Unfortunately, the only problem that Satanism can't solve for the satanic student is that of misunderstandings that non-Satanists have about our religion. Now, with Governor Rick Scott's approval of Senate Bill 98, students are allowed to deliver inspirational messages to a student assembly. This allows for the possibility that satanic students may be able to deliver Satan's words directly to their fellow students, unfiltered by ignorant fears.
This is perfect for Rick Scott in election year!
I hope students like me won't feel like outcasts for their faith, and they will be accepted as satanic citizens.
3% of my salary!
And through the work of these students, new students might be brought to the truth and guidance of satanic teaching.
This is great PR for Rick Scott!
And hail Satan! Hail Satan! Thank you, my dark eminence.
It's a beautiful day here at the state capitol. Great day to be a Satanist. Great day to be a human being. I want to thank you all for your gentle assault when I arrived today. We appreciate the curiosity and the interest and the willingness to cover stories about people that others may misunderstand. I see a lot of, we have a great American here at the state capitol. I also see a lot of great Americans out here, people who clearly stand for exploration, investigation, uncovering of myths, dispelling of misunderstandings. Even that gentleman in the sunglasses. I know you're a great American. I know you're a good guy. You know, there's room for dissent here. We support Rick Scott's position on prayer in schools. That doesn't mean we don't have room to discuss other pieces of his platform. You know, we're not blind supporters of anything. In fact, the Satanic Temple is all about dialogue. And,
do you believe you're going to go to hell?
I believe it, and I'm very excited about it.
You're excited to go to hell?
I am.
Awesome.
Everybody has their own
Sounds
hell
like
and their
a
own
fun
heaven.
time.
Some people's idea of heaven is hell. It can be vice versa. There's no need to hold up tired stereotypes, my friend. I make no judgments on you. And I want to say, even I had a young minion up here, and even within our sect, we have room for disagreement. I heard her say something about Catholic schoolgirls, and I just want to say, we're a friend and an engager of, as she said, Sikhs and Catholics and great Christians. In fact, I was on the plane on the way here, and I met a wonderful born-again Christian lady named Pan, a stewardess. And we were discussing how we're all just little specks in the galaxy. And there's a lot of arrogance out here. And a lot of people think that their way is the only way kind of thinking. And the Satanic Temple stands for expanded consciousness. We're not what you think we are, is what I'm trying to tell you, sir. We're about benevolence and charitable goodwill. We're about actually dispelling the old myths of Satanism. That's what the Satanic Temple is about. So, you know, let's give ourselves a little room to have a dialogue here. Anyway, let me, I have a few things I want to say. Assembled minions, acolytes and servants of Satan. It was but one Walpurgis Nacht ago that I woke at the noon following a night-long orgiastic revelry consecrated by the sensuality of a traditional black mass. That I looked upon my satiated, hedonistic minions. Let me adjust that. And lamented at all that we sacrifice in the name of our faith. Would but that all could know that Satan and feel his glory and revel responsibly, without harm to others in the orgiastic hedonism of his worship, without fear of persecution or ostracism. What brings us here today, now we believe, is that time. And faith-based initiatives and forward-thinking legislation like Senate Bill 98, signed by the great Governor Rick Scott, make it so. It's going to take a moment to acknowledge Rick Scott. He's a great American in many ways, and like all of us, he's flawed, and we may have our disagreements with him, but in this issue, we stand strong. For too long, we've toiled in silence, ever fearful that our faith, if revealed, should be as misunderstood today as it was in our medieval past. For too long, archaic fears and prejudices have misinterpreted Satan's humanistic, Epicurean urgings into a mandate that commands antisocial, anti-human behavior, devoid of moral structure and guidance. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth. Lucifer, bringer of light, the angelic left hand of God, and yes, we do believe in God. We do believe in God. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Let me tell you a little more. Open your ears. I'm going to tell you a little more. Trust me. Trust me on this one. He abdicated his heavenly residence so that he might preside over the universe as God's proxy, so that he might guide us here and now in the corporeal world and transmit God's message, my good friend. Satan loves all of his children. You are my children. You are Satan's children. Today you are my children. I thank you for being here. And is aggrieved when any one of us is burdened by sadness, or is harmed or exploited by another. I hope you're listening. You heard what I just said.
I wasn't actually.
Okay? Talking about the harm and exploitation that people do to each other and to animals that we stand firmly against. It is only from a firm moral and intellectual footing, in fact, that one can have the wisdom to indulge one's passions, with the confidence that another's sovereignty and happiness aren't compromised in the process. For too long, Satanism has been met by atavistic and irrational fears of a mass homicidal conspiracy of cultists, ensuring that we would worship in silence, fearing retribution, like so many religions and so many creeds have, for imagined crimes committed only in deluded minds that have their preconceptions about us, and ensuring that Satan's true message, that message of goodness, would never reach the ears of the affrighted and misinformed, which I